Chapter 51. If there are no immortals in the world, I will be an immortal. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The first level is to eliminate those with weak minds. In Qin Ye's view, it's okay if people are not smart, and if they have average qualifications, it's okay, but if they don't have the right mind, it's not okay. More than 500 people were directly eliminated at the first level, and only more than 200 people reached the mountain gate. After these more than 500 people came out, they were full of regrets. Many of them understood how they were eliminated, and they could only blame themselves for not resisting the temptation. If you are eliminated in the first level, you can go back directly. There is no point in staying here anymore. The rules set by the Qingfeng Sect are that each person can only participate once, which means that everyone can only have one chance. Therefore, the originally lively place at the foot of the mountain became much deserted at this time, but there were still a few people left to watch the fun, and of course some of them might have ulterior motives. The second level is not tested directly, but will be tested together after 7 days, because this second level is the last test, and people will come one after another in the past few days. The first level can be tested directly as long as you come here, but if you fail the test, you cannot test it a second time. In the next few days, people came one after another, but not so many people came, and only a few dozen people passed the first level. By the 6th day, which was the last day, there were already very few people coming. The people receiving the reception were changed from Yuanming to Qiuzhentian and Lu Jing. Both of them were in the Xiantian realm. With them here, nothing would happen. In fact, something happened in the past 2 days. For example, someone wanted to take advantage of the opportunity to cause trouble. They wanted to kill a few people to frame the Qingfeng Sect, but they didn't know that someone was watching here all the time. These people were caught just as they were about to take action. Got it right. However, the other party was very smart and sent a dead soldier. After being caught, he committed suicide directly. As for who sent these dead soldiers, it's really hard to guess. After all, they may have been sent by the Qin dynasty. It is normal for a kingdom to raise some dead soldiers, but it may also be sent by other forces. It is possible for the fishermen to benefit from provoking a fight between the Qingfeng Sect and the Qin dynasty. This is just a small episode. Qin Ye has no order to pursue it. Whoever caused the trouble will jump out sooner or later. Qiuzhentian and Lu Jing saw that no one was coming, so they started chatting. Miss Wu doesn't know what skills she learned in the Kung Fu building. I heard that she competed with Wan Chen yesterday and beat Wan Chen severely. Now Wan Chen is walking around when he sees her. Qiuzhentian said in a low voice, as if afraid that others would hear. Although Wu Xianer is the great elder of the inner sect, they usually don't call her elder, but call her Miss Wu, and Wu Xianer also likes others to call her that. Lu Jingyi said in a low voice, you don't know this. I heard from the elder that Miss Wu's cultivation had always been in the physical training realm before, but Wan Chen broke through the innate realm within a few days of entry. This made her feel very uncomfortable, and so did you. You know, women are all petty and didn't show it at the time. Now that they have advanced in cultivation, they still haven't regained their place. Fortunately, the two of us are busy recruiting students now, otherwise we would be in trouble if they found us. Her cultivation level now exceeds ours, and she has mastered some techniques in the Kung Fu building. She is said to be extremely powerful. Can freeze people instantly, without even having time to react. At this point, Qiuzhentian couldn't help but shudder. It's hard to say what level of skill it is. The elder asked before, but Miss Wu didn't say it clearly. But yesterday in the martial arts competition, Miss Wu performed it. It was simply earth-shattering. What we can confirm is that it is an ice-type skill. The elder said that even if the cultivation level is even those who are 2 or 3 levels higher than her can't resist it. Lu Jing said in a low voice. I really envy Miss Wu. We don't know when we will have the opportunity to enter the Kung Fu building. At this point, Qiuzhentian's eyes were full of hope. Just wait. The elders have asked the sect master before. The sect master said that not everyone can enter the Kung Fu building, and rules will be established in the future. For example, the elders may only enter once a month or 2. As for deacons like us, if without great achievements, it might take about half a year. Lu Jing said helplessly. I can still afford to wait for half a year. Xiao Zhentian said with clenched fists. Yes, I feel that there are definitely heaven-defying skills in the Kung Fu building. If we can master one or two, my brothers may have a chance to have a glimpse of the realm of the Grandmaster. Lu Jing also looked excited. Grandmaster, many people are poor. The pole cannot be reached in a lifetime. As for the blood-killing organization they were in before, there was only one master, the leader. This shows that the master is not so easy to reach. Once you reach the master level, you can truly establish a sect. Of course, it is not a small sect like the Qingfeng Sect, but a real 7th or 8th grade sect. The appeal of a Grand Master is very terrifying. For example, if Old Man Wu wants to build a sect, if he gives the order, he will probably be able to recruit a dozen Xiantian realm warriors soon, and maybe even more. Hello, are you still hiring? At this moment, a voice sounded weakly. The two of them stopped talking immediately. It turned out that at some point, there was a little girl standing in front of their table, holding the corners of her clothes with both hands, looking submissive. I saw this little girl, 16 or 17 years old, with a face covered in dirt and ragged clothes, like a beggar. Even though he was a cold-blooded killer before, both of them couldn't help but sympathize with each other. This little girl must have lived a very difficult life, and joining the Qingfeng Sect would be a life-changing opportunity for her. What's your name, little girl? My name is Xiao Yu Niang, they all call me Yu Niang. The little girl whispered her name, perhaps because she was not confident about her name. Xiao Zhentian wrote down her name. Yu Niang is a very common name, and there are many people with the same name. The two took the initiative to introduce her, mainly talking about the rules of this first level, and reminded her, Miss Xiao, this first level tests your mind. If you can't keep your heart, or your mind is not pure, you can't pass this level. Thank you, big brothers. Xiao Yu Niang smiled sweetly. After thanking the two, Xiao Yu Niang took the initiative to walk into the formation. As soon as she entered, she felt dizzy. When she regained consciousness, she appeared in a garden full of exotic flowers and plants, pavilions and towers. A man in gorgeous clothes was holding a sword in his hand, and the tip of the sword was dripping with blood, and he was slowly walking towards her. The man in gorgeous clothes had a murderous look on his face and said hoarsely, Sixth sister, do you also want to compete with me? Big brother, I have said it before, I am not interested in that position. What I want is the peak of martial arts. Xiao Yu Niang changed her weak tone and said coldly. Okay. You must remember what you said today. After the man in gorgeous clothes finished speaking, he suddenly disappeared in front of her. Sixth sister, big brother is cruel and tyrannical. If he sits in that position, you and I will probably die. I am not like big brother. At least I don't have any other ideas about you. At this time, another handsome man appeared in front of her. Second brother, I have told big brother before that I will not get involved in your affairs. What I pursue is the peak of martial arts. The secular imperial power is like a passing cloud in my eyes. You don't have to come to me again. Xiao Yu Niang also didn't have a good face for this handsome man. Then I wish little sister success soon. After saying that, the handsome man's body slowly disappeared. Xiao Yu Niang looked at all this calmly. It is indeed a simple psychedelic array, but this level of psychedelic array can't confuse my mind. The secular imperial power is ultimately just a passing cloud. What I pursue is the peak realm. If there are no immortals in this world, I will be the first immortal in this world. If there are immortals in this world, I will also be the strongest among them. If there are no immortals in the world, I will be an immortal 1,000 years later. The illusion array disappeared, and Xiao Yu Niang walked out of the psychedelic array in less than an incense stick of time. Chapter 52 Xiao Yu Niang's Hidden Identity. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Xiao Yu Niang walked out of the psychedelic array in less than a stick of incense, alarming Qiao Zhentian and Lu Jing. The two of them thought that maybe this poor little girl had a simple mind and no desires, so she broke out of the formation so easily. They reported the little girl's information to Yuan Ming. After Yuan Ming heard about it, he was a little surprised. She was the first person to be able to get out of the formation so quickly. Maybe her talent was not simple. So, Yuan Ming asked the two of them to focus on this little girl, but this little girl deserves attention. After all, hundreds of people have been tested, and she is the first person to be able to get out of the psychedelic array in just one stick of incense. After the little girl, several people came one after another. None of them passed the first level and left sadly. This little girl is interesting. Qin Ye can feel everything that happens in the formation. This little girl is dressed like a beggar, but in this illusion, her brothers are all wearing gorgeous clothes, and his two brothers seem to be competing for some position. Qin Ye often saw this kind of drama, not to mention the fight for family property in the previous life. Even in this world, the fight for the position of the head of the family was even more cruel, and it was often expelled or bloodbathed. The decline of Qingfeng Sect was also due to this reason. It was also because they competed for the position of leader and killed each other. In the end, all the masters of the sect were lost, which gave other sects the opportunity to rise. In this way, on the seventh day, the first level test was stopped, and more than 400 people participated in the second level. Overall, it's pretty good. Recruiting 100 people out of more than 400 people is still a very high ratio. Yuan Ming called everyone together and then talked about the second level, which was the last level. This level is difficult to say, but it is not difficult to say that it is not difficult. That is to persist in standing under the pressure of the innate realm. The longer the time, the better, and then the top 100 will be able to enter the Qingfeng Sect. Yuan Ming glanced at everyone in the field and said loudly, "First of all, congratulations on passing the first level. Only after passing the second level can you enter our Qingfeng Sect. This second level is to test your physique and mind. The longer you can persist under the pressure of the innate realm, the longer your future achievements will be. Let's start." After Yuan Ming gave the order, Lu Jing unleashed his innate momentum and pressed against the many boys and girls. The boys and girls in the field all showed nervous expressions. Many of them had poor cultivation and were the kind of people who could not enter the sect and were marginalized in the family. Otherwise, they would not come to Qingfeng Sect to try their luck. The momentum of the Xiantian realm is not something that ordinary people can resist, and even the physical training realm cannot last long. Of course, although Lu Jing burst out with innate momentum, it was not directed at one person, but spread out. In this way, the momentum against everyone was not that strong, so even if he has no cultivation, if he is mentally tough, he can persist for a period of time. Even so, within just a moment, some people collapsed to the ground, making it difficult to even stand, but there were some people who gritted their teeth. Not only did they not fall to the ground, but they continued to stand up, with sweat flowing on their faces, showing their strong perseverance and determination to enter the Qingfeng Sect. This type of people is the focus of observation. Although Qin Ye didn't pay much attention to this group of outer disciples, after all, he was just completing system tasks and had no hope for them. Even Xiao Yu Niang, who was hiding her identity, only said something interesting. However, Yuan Ming is different. The big boss is the boss, but as a worker, he still needs to be aware. If he doesn't handle this matter beautifully, how can he get in the big boss's eyes? Therefore, he was very concerned about the first batch of outer sect disciples and did everything personally. Today is the most important thing, whether the outer sect can take off. Soon more than 100 people could not hold on individually and collapsed to the ground. Yuan Ming asked Lu Jing to increase his pressure. The boys and girls in the scene felt that the pressure suddenly became stronger, and their faces changed slightly, but most of them had firm eyes without any fear or flinching. Seeing this, Yuan Ming smiled and nodded. If such people are given a chance, they can often become great talents. Before, when Qin Ye asked him to arrange the test like this, he still didn't understand it. Qin Ye said to him at that time, "It's not that many people in this world can't become talented, but they often don't have opportunities. Once they encounter opportunities, they will soar into the sky. Our Qingfeng Sect is different from other sections. There is no shortage of magical weapons and weapons, but what is missing is people. Whether they can seize the opportunity depends on themselves." Yuan Ming now understands that these people may have poor foundations, but they will practice harder. "I give up. A young man in a green shirt was sweating profusely, his face was covered with sweat, and his legs were buckled. He finally couldn't hold on and said this. As soon as he finished speaking, his aura disappeared, and the young man in green shirt left here with regret on his face. This young man is a descendant of the Wan family and a third-level martial artist. If he persists, he feels that he may be crushed and has no choice but to give up. He is a descendant of the Wan family. Yuan Ming saw that he was from the Wan family. The head of the Wan family had come over to say hello to him before. However, Yuan Ming ignored this old guy. Who was he? He killed 10 elders and was a 6th-level Xiantian warrior. But if Wan Qin hadn't appeared in the Wan family, he wouldn't have even looked at him. Normally, Yuan Ming might give him some face, but when it comes to his future development prospects, even if Wan Qin comes, Yuan Ming will not give him face. This was just a small episode. It was not only the Wan family who gave up. In fact, there were many people who gave up. At this moment, Yuan Ming looked at Xiao Yu Niang, who was the focus of his attention. Xiao Yu Niang was the same as the others. Her expression was extremely calm, her eyes were clear, and she clenched her teeth, but her face was pale. A firm will lingered around her. Her thin body actually burst out with strong perseverance and resisted the pressure of the innate momentum. Her body was shaking constantly, and sweat oozed from her forehead. It was obvious that she had reached her limit. Despite this, she still persisted. Good. Good. Not bad. I didn't expect that there was really a good seedling this time. Yuan Ming was so excited that he almost clapped his hands and cheered. His evaluation of Xiao Yu Niang rose again. At this time, Xiao Yu Niang noticed Yuan Ming's attention, but she thought to herself, no. I was noticed at the 1st level. If I am paid more attention at the 2nd level, it will be difficult for me to hide. It is better to keep a low profile. I can feel that my opportunity is in Qingfeng Sect, but I can't reveal my identity now. It is obvious that Xiao Yu Niang has other identities. She dressed as a beggar on purpose. She also has her own purpose in entering Qingfeng Sect. On the other side, Qin Ye was fishing with old man Wu. Qin Ye, who had nothing to do, was either fishing or on the way to fishing. He had long lost the heart to practice. Some were like nouveau riche who suddenly won a prize of tens of millions of yuan. Why did they still work? They just lay down. This little girl looks weak on the outside, but her heart is as tough as jade. She is not comparable to ordinary people. But I see that she is delicate and tender. No matter how she disguises herself, she is noble. I am afraid her origin is not simple. Old man Wu said slowly. Old man Wu was talking about Xiao Yu Niang. At their level, they don't need to look at it. What happened at the gate of the mountain is clear at a glance. Chapter 53 Heavenly Spiritual Vein. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Her origins are not simple, and look at her cultivation. Qin Ye replied. After a while, old man Wu chuckled and said, this little girl is really not simple. She is already at the 2nd level of Xiantian realm. I was almost fooled. It seems that she has a treasure on her body that can hide her own cultivation. If old man Wu hadn't recovered his strength, he might not have been able to detect Xiao Yu Niang's realm. This little girl has already achieved the Xiantian realm at such a young age. Her talent is quite good. She is more than enough to enter a 6th-grade sect. How could she be here? Old man Wu was a little confused. If they were spies sent by other forces, they would definitely not send such a talented disciple. You must know that all sects in the world are the same and their talented disciples are hidden like treasures. How could they be sent to carry out such a dangerous mission? Qin Ye shrugged. Maybe it's my handsomeness that attracted her to me. It seems that you have a good idea of her origin. Old man Wu rolled his eyes at Qin Ye and said. Qin Ye smiled and said nothing. Old man Wu glanced at Qin Ye and said nothing. An hour passed, and there were only about 50 people left in the venue, including Xiao Yu Niang. Afterwards, Xiao Yu Niang took the initiative to admit defeat and walked aside. She had already firmly entered the Qingfeng Sect, and there was no need to attract attention anymore. Especially when Yuan Ming kept looking at her just now, which made her immediately wary. In fact, her background is indeed very important. After hearing about the battle between Qingfeng Sect and Yangling Marquis, she suddenly had a premonition that the opportunity lies with Qingfeng Sect, so, I came to Qingfeng City all the way. When I heard that Qingfeng Sect was recruiting people, I did some homework and signed up. The remaining 50 people are still gritting their teeth and persisting, because they know that the longer they persist, the more attention they will get from the elders of the outer sect. After another half hour, the remaining 50 people couldn't hold on any longer, and this second round of testing was over. Finally, the first 100 successfully entered the outer gate. Yuan Ming asked Lu Jing and Qiu Xintian to register the 100 outer disciples, arrange dormitories, etc. Once everything was done, he reported to Qin Ye alone. Sect Master, the 100 outer disciples have been recruited. There are several good candidates here, especially the one named Xiao Yu Niang. I am paying close attention to her. Xiao Yu Niang, you don't need to pay attention to her anymore. Give her the greatest freedom. She can do whatever she wants. Qin Ye ordered. Sect Master, why is this? Yuan Ming was a little confused and didn't know why the Sect Master arranged this. This girl is a little special, just follow my arrangements. You should arrange the others first, and then you will be in charge of the outer sect. As for the cultivation of the outer sect disciples, you will personally take care of it. Qin Ye said. Yes, Sect Master. Without Qin Ye's instructions, Yuan Ming had already made arrangements, and he would give lectures in person 3 times a week. Ding, congratulations to the host for completing the task of recruiting 100 outer disciples within 7 days. The host will be rewarded with 5 blind boxes. As soon as Yuan Ming was sent away, the system prompt sounded. The system opens the blind box. Ding, congratulations to the host for getting the title of Princess Wei. Looking at Pang Ci in his hand, Qin Ye was a little confused. Are you really messing with the system? You actually did this to me. Am I that kind of person? Princess Wei didn't know whether she was beautiful or not. Qin Ye shook his head and drove away these unrealistic thoughts. Labor and management are focused on career. Women will only affect the speed of drawing my sword, no, the speed of building the sect. However, Qin Ye still put it away. Ahem, of course you can't let others see it, otherwise, if others think that he has a hobby of collecting fat items, he will not be worthy of the face of his sect leader. Ding, congratulations to the host for obtaining 1,000 primary body training pills. Qin Ye nodded. These 1,000 junior body training pills were pretty good. There were 100 outer disciples just now, so each of them got just 10 pills. These outer disciples have a very poor foundation. 10 body training pills will just give them a good foundation, so that their future cultivation will be smooth sailing. Ding, congratulations to the host for obtaining the heaven-level martial arts Maha Finger. Ding, congratulations to the host for obtaining a heaven-level spiritual vein. Ding, congratulations to the host for getting a summoning card. Among the 5 blind box rewards this time, except for the first one which is a bit unreliable, the other 4 are pretty good. Maha Finger is a heaven-level martial arts, a Buddhist martial arts. After receiving it, it was directly instilled into Qin Ye's mind, if someone from the Buddhist sect learns this Maha Finger, it will be very powerful when used. Even in heaven-level martial arts, it is a very powerful technique. If someone who doesn't know the Dharma uses it, it won't be that powerful. Spiritual veins are very important to sections. Generally, sects will build their sects on spiritual veins to provide training for their disciples. Large sects like those have thousands of disciples at every turn, and the surrounding spiritual energy cannot be supplied at all. Only spiritual veins can support them. Some sects will provoke sectarian disputes for the sake of spiritual veins. However, small sects like Qingfeng Sect don't understand this. Spiritual veins are also divided into levels, including primary spiritual veins, intermediate spiritual veins, advanced spiritual veins, heaven-level spiritual veins, king-level spiritual veins, emperor-level spiritual veins, and fairy-level spiritual veins. Heaven-level spiritual veins are very rare. The Great Qin dynasty did not have a heaven-level spiritual vein. There are rumors that a high-level spiritual vein appeared in the Great Qin dynasty more than 30 years ago, which caused competition among major forces. Later, this high-level spiritual vein mysteriously disappeared. However, there are rumors that this spiritual vein was obtained by the Great Qin royal family, but this news has not been confirmed. Qin Ye asked the system to arrange the heaven-level spiritual vein under Qingfeng Mountain and bury it underground. Qingfeng Mountain shook, the sky and the earth trembled, and then bursts of dragon roars were heard. The entire Qingfeng Mountain was shrouded in rich spiritual energy, which was dozens of times richer than before. One day of cultivation was equivalent to dozens of days of cultivation before. The changes in Qingfeng Mountain were naturally noticed by everyone. Yuan Ming, is this a spiritual vein? The spiritual energy is so rich, the spiritual vein level is not low. How can there be a spiritual vein in Qingfeng Mountain? It's really strange. Is it another mysterious method of the sect master? Old man Wu looked at the ground and smiled slightly. The sect master's method is really earth-shattering. I don't know where he got a heaven-level spiritual vein. With the nourishment of this heaven-level spiritual vein, it will be difficult for Qingfeng Sect not to take off. However, if those old guys know that there is a heaven-level spiritual vein here, I'm afraid it will be troublesome again. Obviously, old man Wu saw that this spiritual vein was a heaven-level spiritual vein. Every spiritual vein that comes out is a bloody storm, not to mention a heaven-level spiritual vein. Outside the gate, Xiao Yu Niang, who was cultivating in her room, suddenly opened her eyes full of disbelief. How is it possible? How could there be a spiritual vein in this remote place? Could it be this spiritual vein that attracted me here? Huh. It's actually a heavenly spiritual vein. This is impossible. It's impossible for a place as barren as Qingzhou to breed a heavenly spiritual vein. This Qingfeng Sect is really becoming more and more mysterious. Well, with so much spiritual energy, the cultivation speed is definitely several times faster than before. We can't miss such an opportunity. Chapter 54, Summon Again. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The changes in the spiritual energy of Qingfeng Mountain can only be felt by people in Qingfeng Mountain, because there is a fairy-level formation protecting it, and people outside cannot detect it at all. Qin Ye now has 2 summoning cards in his hand. He opened one this time and had one unused last time. Now there are more people in the sect, and there are too few people to use. Decided to use these 2 summoning cards together. Anyway, Qin Ye decided to stay in Qingfeng Mountain. Before, the Xiantian realm was the ceiling in Qingfeng City, but last time there were 2 grandmasters, especially that Qin Sect must have more than 1 grandmaster, and there might be more powerful ones, so Qin Ye decided that it would be safer to stay in the sect. As for things that need to go out, he will arrange for others to do it. System summons. Ding, opening the low-level character summon card, summoning. Ding, congratulations to the host for the successful summoning. Congratulations to the host, successfully summoned Qiao Jingchun. Congratulations to the host, successfully summoned Lu Xingxue and Lu Xingpiao Su. Qin Ye. System, you are staring at the world of Tianxia number 1 and keep rubbing. The last time you summoned, Gui Hai Yi Dao came, and this time you summoned Qiao Jingchun and Lu Xing sisters. Qiao Jingchun was insidious and cunning in the world of Tianxia number 1, and had great ambitions, but in the end he made wedding clothes for Zhu Wushi, the iron-hearted god. Of course, the most classic thing is Qiao Jingchun's retreat, which made martial arts regress 20 years. Qiao Jingchun had the ability to fight Zhu Wushi for so many years, but Zhu Wushi was more insidious and cunning, and his methods were more advanced. Even in martial arts, he could kill him in seconds. If he didn't lose, who would lose? As for the Lu Xing sisters, both of them were tragedies. Lu Xingxue was gentle and pure, beautiful and kind, but it was a pity that her ending was not good and she died early. Lu Xingpiao Su is different. She is very scheming, cunning, and cruel. Most people can't control this kind of woman. The 3 were not arranged to appear in Qingfeng Sect, but were arranged by the system near Qingfeng City. in an unknown hill more than 30 kilometers away from Qingfeng Mountain, a figure appeared inexplicably, and he chuckled, "Qingfeng Sect, we are here." On the other side, two sisters who looked exactly the same appeared in a village. A gangster in the village flirted with them because they were beautiful, but was glared at by one of the women and stared to death. The villagers around were scared and fled. "The young master is in Qingfeng Sect, let's not make trouble," Lu Xingxueji said to Lu Xingpiao Su helplessly. "Anyone who dares to speak rudely to our sisters will die." Lu Xingpiao Su said murderously. Lu Xingxueji was helpless about her sister's murderous intention. Although they were twins, they had different personalities. "The Qingfeng Sect is in that direction, let's go." Lu Xingxueji pointed to the direction of the Qingfeng Sect and said softly, "Yes." Lu Xingxueji nodded. An hour later, Chao Jingchun and Lu Xingxueji sisters met at the foot of Qingfeng Mountain. Chao Jingchun was a little surprised to see the two of them, and couldn't help saying, "I didn't expect the master to call you out." It turned out to be eunuch Chao. Lu Xingxueji nodded slightly to Chao Jingchun. As a greeting, Chao Jingchun saw that the Lu Xing sisters were beautiful, but he was moved in his heart, and said with a smile, "My family and you are old acquaintances. This world is more terrible than we imagined. We must take care of each other. Miss Xueji, don't you think so?" "It should be so." Lu Xingxueji agreed generously. They were also new to the place and unfamiliar with the place. Chao Jingchun was an old acquaintance. In addition, they were in the same sect now, so it would be okay to take care of each other in the future. "Sister, this dead eunuch smile is so weird, it's obvious that he has no good intentions." Lu Xingpiaoshu whispered to Lu Xingxueji, although her voice was low. How could it be hidden from Chao Jingchun's ears? Or maybe Lu Xingpiaoshu said it to him on purpose. Chao Jingchun chuckled, "Miss Piaoshu is joking. I am a clean-shaven person, how can I have any bad intentions?" At this time, Yuan Ming came out and asked the three of them, but Chao Jingchun, Lu Xing sisters, that the three nodded in agreement. "Yuan Ming, the sect leader asked me to take you in to see him." Looking at these three people, Yuan Ming couldn't help but have a lot of random thoughts in his mind. Why does Chao Jingchun look so much like a eunuch? Is he really a eunuch? Was he sent by the Qin dynasty? Is there such a powerful eunuch in the Qin dynasty? Although this person has a lot of Yin energy, he is domineering and his cultivation is probably not weaker than that of a master. If he is really a eunuch sent by the Qin dynasty, why did the master let him in? Alas, the master's mind is getting harder and harder to guess. The names of the Lu Xing sisters are so strange. They don't look like people from the Qin dynasty. Seeing how friendly Chao Jingchun is to them, they are probably masters. Are all the masters wholesale now? Maybe they are sent by the forces behind the Qingfeng Sect. Yuan Ming has always believed that there is a terrifying force behind Qin Ye, but he has no evidence. He has not yet entered the core and dare not ask around. Yuan Ming brought the three people to the hall, and Qin Ye asked him to go down first. "Meet the master, young master." The three people greeted Qin Ye. "Yes." Qin Ye nodded slightly, used the system to call up the personal interface of the three people. Character, Chao Jingchun. Race, human. Cultivation, Grandmaster level 8. Skills, Tiangang Tongzi Kungfu, Wanchuan Guihai, Vitra body protection. Character, Lu Xingxueji. Race, human. Cultivation, Grandmaster level 1. Skills, snow drifting in the world, killing God with one knife. Character, Lu Xingpiaoshu. Race, human. Cultivation, Grandmaster level 3. Skills, snow drifting in the world, killing God with one knife. Yuangue Qigong. After looking at the three people's panels, even Qin Ye was deeply moved. Eunuch Chao is indeed a character who can be hostile to the old sinister Zhu Wuxi for so many years. He actually has the cultivation level of Grandmaster level 8, now the Qingfeng Sect is facing a lot of pressure from the great Qin dynasty. With the addition of Chao Jingchun, a powerful Grandmaster level 8, the pressure is immediately relieved a lot, and the two Lu Xing sisters should not be underestimated. They are both grandmasters, especially the younger sister Lu Xingpiaoxiu, whose level is higher than that of her sister, which shows that her talent should be higher than that of her sister. Before they came, Qin Ye had already thought about how to arrange them. Chao Jingchun, you will be the logistics elder of Qingfeng Sect first. You will be in charge of all the logistics matters in the sect. Yes, master. Serving people is his specialty. Chao Jingchun agreed with a smile. Looking at the Luxing sisters, Qin Ye said to them, you just follow me first. Yes, sir. The Luxing sisters said. Chao Jingchun glanced at the Luxing sisters and said in his heart, sure enough, all men like twins, and they are such beautiful twins. It seems that I still have to spend more time with these two sisters in the future. He looked at Lu Xingpiaoxiu, who looked innocent, but he became alert in his heart. With his experienced eyes, he had long seen that this woman looked innocent on the surface, but in fact she was deep-minded, sinister and vicious. He couldn't fall into the hands of this woman. On the contrary, her elder sister was easier to get along with. Looking at the two sisters, Chao Jingchun had a plan in his mind. Chapter 55 The eldest prince wants to win over the Qingfeng Sect. You are listening at novelfull.audio. There were suddenly 3 more people in Qingfeng Sect, and Qin Ye did not explain much, just let everyone know them. There were suddenly 3 more grandmaster warriors, and old man Wu was so surprised that he pulled off a few hairs of his beard. He couldn't help but ask Qin Ye privately where these people came from and why he had never seen them before. Qin Ye smiled and said nothing, just saying that these people were very reliable. What surprised old man Wu the most was the Luxing sisters, who were only about 20 years old, but were already grandmasters. Such high talents could not be unknown, but he couldn't think of any force in the great Qin dynasty that could cultivate such a talented disciple. Since Qin Ye was unwilling to say, old man Wu didn't ask much, but he believed that everything would have traces to be found, and sooner or later, clues would be revealed. If Qin Ye knew what old man Wu was thinking, he would definitely sneer at it. The system's products must be fine products, so how could he let you find clues? Because Wan Chen was setting an example. These outer disciples who had just entered Qingfeng Sect practiced very hard, especially some disciples who made rapid progress. For example, there was a disciple who was only at the first level of physical training, but after 2 days of practice, he broke through to the 3rd level of physical training. Although this was due to the merits of the physical training pill, it was also related to his own aptitude. If his aptitude was not good, how could he practice so fast? Qingyun Sect. After Feng Qingyun returned to the sect, he had a conversation with the current headmaster and stayed in the sect temporarily. On this day, a disciple suddenly reported to Wang that someone came to visit him. Soon Feng Qingyun saw the person coming. This was a young man, and judging from his attire, he should be a guard. Feng Qingyun obviously knew this man and asked, "What are you doing here?" That the young man replied respectfully, "Your Highness asked me to come to Qingzhou first, and he wanted to ask Master Feng to go to Qingfeng Sect." Feng Qingyun understood what the other party meant and asked, "Your Highness wants to conquer Qingfeng Sect?" That the young man nodded and said, "Yang Ling Ho is dead, and your Highness has lost a master, which is a huge loss. Qingfeng Sect already has 2 masters, and it is worth your Highness to win over. Originally, your Highness wanted to show his sincerity and come to Qingzhou in person, but the second prince was planning to attack Qingzhou's 300,000 troops, and your Highness could not split himself, so he ordered me to come and inform Master Feng to go on behalf of your Highness." In the deal reached with the Qin royal family, one of the items was that Feng Qingyun went to the capital to teach the royal children to practice. After more contact with the princes, he observed the performance and strength of the princes and found that the eldest prince was the only one who could inherit the throne of the king of Qin, so he secretly supported the eldest prince. "Your Highness may not know that I have dealt with Qin Ye before, and he doesn't look that easy to win over," Feng Qingyun said lightly. "Your Highness has already explained that everything can be discussed. Qingfeng City is just a remote small city. If they are willing to join your Highness is willing to allocate 1/3 of Qingzhou's land to Qingfeng Sect." Feng Qingyun took a breath after hearing this. This prince has invested a lot of money. I was not so generous when I tried to win over the old man. You have to know that the great Qin dynasty only has 8 states in total. No matter how poor Qingzhou is, 1/3 of the land cannot be underestimated. Your Highness has really invested a lot of money to win over Qingfeng Sect. Feng Qingyun had to admire the prince. Yang Linghe has always been his man, but now he was killed by Qin Ye of Qingfeng Sect. Not only did he not hate Qin Ye, but he was willing to spend a lot of money to win over Qin Ye. This mind is rare among the princes. Your Highness also said that 1/3 of Qingzhou's land will be given to Qinyin Sect, 1/3 to Qingfeng Sect, and 1/3 will be ruled by the royal family. The young man then said with shining eyes, Your Highness is broad-minded, and ordinary people can't compare. Your Highness is even more ambitious. Qingzhou is just a small place, and Your Highness is eyeing the entire Northern Territory. It's not so easy to unify the Northern Territory. The strength of Duchin is only average among the kingdoms. It's good that Your Highness has this ambition. Feng Qingyun nodded slightly, affirming the eldest prince's ambition, but it is basically impossible to unify the Northern Territory. The Northern Territory has been in chaos for many years. There was once a dynasty that unified the Northern Territory, but it soon fell apart. Until now, the entire Northern Territory is still in chaos. After years of war, only 7 kingdoms are the most powerful, but these 7 kingdoms are both allies in wars. If they unite with you today, they may fight you tomorrow, and you don't even need to make up a reason to fight you. Master Feng, His Highness told you to act as soon as possible. The second prince may also send someone to win over the army. In addition, the 300,000 troops in Qingzhou must not be lost. Feng Qingyun nodded slightly. Qingzhou has my Qinyin Sect. Even if the second prince sends someone to be the commander of the 300,000 troops, he will not be able to control the army in a short time. The influence of the Qinyin Sect in the Qingzhou garrison is very terrifying, and he still has some confidence. Then I wish Master Feng success, and I have to go back and report to His Highness in a hurry. Looking at the figure of the young guard leaving, Feng Qingyun's face suddenly darkened. What is the Qingfeng Sect? Even if there are 2 masters, it is not worthy of being compared with the Qinyin Sect. He has done so many things for the eldest prince, and now the Qingfeng Sect has 2 masters. It is worth spending so much money to win over. Is he unworthy? Or is the eldest prince arrogant? As a supporter of the eldest prince, he originally wanted to attract foreign aid for the eldest prince, which was understandable. But he had just had a grudge with Qingfeng Sect, and the eldest prince sent him there. How could Feng Qingyun feel good about this? In addition, the eldest prince's promise to Qinyin Sect was the same as that of Qingfeng Sect. Could he feel balanced? Why did Qingfeng Sect do this? It was just a small sect that had just risen. Even if there was a master sitting in the sect, so what? If it weren't for the protection of the sect's formation, he believed that he could easily kill the leader of Qingfeng Sect, Qin Ye, with his own strength. As for that old man Wu, his strength might be higher than his own, but so what? Could he compare with the ancestor? Once the ancestor broke through to the Grandmaster, what could Qingfeng Sect use to compare with Qinyin Sect? Although he was resentful, it was an order from the eldest prince after all, so he had to do it. Before doing it, he got up and went to the forbidden area in the back mountain and came to the place where the ancestor was in seclusion. A divine thought swept over him, and an old voice came from the cave where the ancestor was in seclusion. This ancestor is at the critical moment of breakthrough. What are you doing here? Ancestor, the eldest prince sent an order, asking me to win over the Qingfeng Sect. Feng Qingyun told the ancestor what the eldest prince wanted him to do one by one. It's just a big pie. Once I break through to the Grandmaster level, Qingzhou will be ruled by my Qinyin Sect. Who dares not to obey? That a terrifying momentum burst out from the cave, pressing Feng Qingyun to the ground. After a long while, the terrifying momentum dissipated. Feng Qingyun climbed up with a pale face, shocked in his heart. The strength of the ancestor was getting more and more terrifying. The ancestor continued, since the eldest prince may be the next king of Qin, you can lend him a helping hand. You can win over the Qingfeng Sect. When I break through to become a Grandmaster, there will be no need for the Qingfeng Sect to exist. I understand, disciple. After leaving the forbidden area, Feng Qingyun couldn't help laughing. The ancestor's meaning was very clear. When he breaks through, he will directly destroy the Qingfeng Sect. How can there be two sects ruling a place in Qingzhou? You are dreaming. First, let you work for the eldest prince, and when you are strong enough, I will destroy your Qingfeng Sect. The eldest prince will not offend a Qingyun sect with a grandmaster for the sake of a Qingfeng sect. Chapter 56, Refusing to be Wooed. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Qingfeng City's secret location for bloodshed. This station is hidden in the bustling city of Qingfeng City. It is extremely secretive. There are only two people in this station, a middle-aged couple, and they did not attract anyone's attention. Woman, this time I wanted to send someone to sneak in, but I didn't expect that we would be eliminated at the first level. Our plan completely failed. Man, the leader asked us to collect information about the Qingfeng Sect, but we can't get into the Qingfeng Sect and they won't come out. How should we collect information? Woman, I don't believe they can stay away for a day or even a month. Anyway, the leader didn't ask us to hand over the information immediately. Besides, it's not like we haven't gained anything. The 10 elders, Lu Jing, and Qiu Xintian, they are not dead and have taken refuge in the Qingfeng Sect. With this information, are we still afraid that we will not make any achievements? Man, that's true. But we still find a way to get in. It's best to bribe one or two outer disciples of the Qingfeng Sect so that we can get more information. Woman, we'd better send the news back to the 10 elders as soon as possible. I believe the leader will reward us heavily. The two of them passed the news that the 10 elders were still alive and had joined the Qingfeng Sect back to the blood-killing headquarters that day. Yuan Ming and the others had already exposed themselves that day when they were in charge of recruiting outer disciples. After the blood-killing elders got the news, they all praised the leader for being wise and promptly changing the location of the headquarters. At the same time, each one of them scolded them for being nothing, for daring to betray Blood Kill, and they all clamored to let them know the consequences of betraying Blood Kill. They were also very vocal. If they were really asked to go to Qingfeng Sect to kill people, they would not have the courage. The leader of the blood killing was also helpless. In the past, those who betrayed the blood killing were killed, but for the time being, he did not want to mess with the Qingfeng Sect. Everything about the Qingfeng Sect was unknown, and he did not want to become the second Yangling Marquis, so the leader of the blood killings issued an order to let people try to contact them first to see if they could still do anything for the blood killings. If successful, we might be able to get more information from them through them. On this day, Feng Qingyun came to Qingfeng Sect again. This time, he was not arrogant, but asked people to report it with a smile on his face. Although Qin Ye didn't understand what the old guy was doing again, he still asked Qiao Jingchun to pick him up. Qiao Jingchun came to the foot of the mountain and took him to Qingfeng Sect. Along the way, his eyes scanned everywhere, not missing any detail. At the same time, he was also secretly sizing up Qiao Jingchun, but Qiao Jingchun didn't pay much attention to him, but walked inside on his own. Feng Qingyun was secretly angry. In his opinion, the person sent by Qin Ye to pick him up had no status in the Qingfeng Sect. In addition, he did not notice any cultivation in Qiao Jingchun, which made him even more contemptuous. What Feng Qingyun didn't know was that Qiao Jingchun had hidden his cultivation in the past 2 days, making himself look like an ordinary butler. People who didn't know it would really think he was a butler. Humph. When I come in person, you arrange for an ordinary person to pick me up. You don't take me seriously. Let's see how arrogant you can be when the ancestor succeeds in breaking through. Feng Qingyun snorted in his heart, but still kept a smile on his face, but felt sick in his heart. Qiao Jingchun brought Feng Qingyun to the main hall and met Qin Ye. Master, I brought him here. Yeah. Qin Ye nodded. As soon as Feng Qingyun entered the hall, he saw Qin Ye sitting on the throne of the sect leader. He was shocked. He did not expect that Qin Ye was so young, that is, in his 20s, younger than he thought. He frowned slightly, wondering in his heart how Qin Ye could have the strength of a master at such a young age. He saw Qin Ye take action in front of him that day. Feng Qingyun kept having doubts in his heart. He looked at Qin Ye carefully. When he saw Qin Ye's dark and deep eyes, his heart couldn't help but feel an endless dangerous aura from Qin Ye's eyes, as if being caught by a man. The huge monster stares at its prey, making people extremely frightened. He felt a chill in his heart and took a step back unconsciously. He couldn't help but guess what kind of look that was just now. When he looked at Qin Ye again, he didn't have the same look as before. He had some doubts in his heart. Could it be that he had seen it wrong? Feng Qingyun, are you here because of Marquis Yangling's affairs? Qin Ye's faint voice sounded. I have already said that it is a capital crime for him to lead an army to invade our Qingfeng Sect. Even if he has made great contributions to the Qin dynasty, the outcome will be the same. Hearing this, Feng Qingyun curled his lips. In the past few days, he had also figured out what the offense was. All of this was just your plan. You killed Yanglinghou's son and then attracted Yanglinghao. Then destroy Marquis Yangling and make the Qingfeng Sect famous all over the world. However, his relationship with Marquis Yangling was not as good as expected. Now that he is gone, and today he is here to win over Qin Ye for the eldest prince, it is naturally not suitable to talk about Marquis Yangling. Sect Master Qin, Marquis Yangling deserves his punishment. Today, I am here for the eldest prince. Feng Qingyun expressed his stance. Qin Ye didn't speak, and motioned for Feng Qingyun to continue. Feng Qingyun continued, Yang Lingho was a strong supporter of the eldest prince. Now he died in the hands of the Qin clan leader. The eldest prince did not blame him. Instead, he told me that if it weren't for the fact that the king had something important to do, he would have come to meet Qin now. Metropolitan. The eldest prince has a broad-minded heart and is very comparable to others. He really appreciates Sect Master Qin. If Sect Master Qin agrees to cooperate with the eldest prince, he is willing to speak to the king of Qin and eliminate the misunderstanding between Qingfeng Sect and the Qin royal family. Oh, Qin Ye raised his eyebrows slightly. It turned out that the eldest prince wanted to win over him. Seeing that Qin Ye was indifferent, Feng Qingyun continued, the eldest prince said that if the eldest prince succeeds to the throne of Qin in the future, 1/3 of Qingzhou will be allocated to Qingfeng Sect. Sect Master Qin, you can see how much the eldest prince attaches great importance to you and the Qingfeng Sect. Qin Ye did not answer him directly, but asked, is everything you said true? Feng Qingyun nodded, of course it's all true. This is an oral message from the eldest prince himself. I'm just passing it on for you. It seems that you also support the eldest prince. Qin Ye looked at Feng Qingyun with a half-smile, but how can I believe what you said? Who knows whether what you say is true or false? The eldest prince just made a few verbal promises and wanted me, the Qingfeng Sect, to work for him. He's thinking nonsense. Judging from his treatment of Marquis Yangling, he may be a hero, but he treats his subordinates very coldly, which is not the behavior of a wise master. Such a person is not worthy of my loyalty to him. After hearing Qin Ye's words, Feng Qingyun's face suddenly darkened. Sect leader Qin, please be careful. Can you also arrange the arrangement for the eldest prince? Qin Ye chuckled, Feng Qingyun, I think you are also a powerful master, but you have become the prince's dog. What a pity. You. Feng Qingyun was furious, Qin Ye, don't be too arrogant. The eldest prince wants to win you over because he thinks highly of you. Don't think that you dare to be arrogant in front of me with your little cultivation. To tell you the truth, just rely on with your current cultivation level, you can't even catch my eye. What? Do you think that in your territory, I really don't dare to kill you? Feng Qingyun showed a cold smile on his face, his body suddenly shook, and a strong power radiated out. Chapter 57 Jealousy. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Facing the pressure of Feng Qingyun's momentum, Qin Ye always kept a smile on his face. Suddenly, a sense of oppression stronger than Feng Qingyun enveloped the entire hall, making Feng Qingyun tremble all over. His face turned extremely pale, his body also trembled, and he couldn't help but kneel down, with beads of sweat on his forehead. Big drops rolled down, and the cold sweat on his face was pouring down. Feng Qingyun looked at Xiao Jingchun, whom he had ignored, with a horrified expression. He was shocked in his heart. This person he had ignored turned out to be a master who was much more powerful than himself. He could do it just by his momentum. Forcing yourself to kneel down is something that at least a high-level master can do, and this is the third grandmaster to appear in Qingfeng Sect. Feng Qingyun looked ugly. He wanted to teach Qin Ye a lesson, but he was taught a lesson instead. Moreover, a high-level grandmaster appeared in Qingfeng Sect, which was definitely a fatal threat to Qingyun Sect. Feng Qingyun, I can let you go back. You can pass the message to the eldest prince on your behalf. We, the Qingfeng Sect, will not participate in secular affairs. If he wants to avenge Yangling Marquis, just come over. I, Qin Ye, will follow. Qin Ye. Yi said calmly. Okay. I will pass it on for you. Feng Qingyun said through gritted teeth. Qin Ye looked at Xiao Jingchun, send him down the mountain. Yes, master. Xiao Jingchun calmed down his momentum. Feng Qingyun stood up, and followed Xiao Jingchun out of the hall with a complicated look on his face. Along the way, Feng Qingyun's mood has not been calm. It's incredible that a high-level grandmaster actually calls Qin Ye his master. What method did Qin Ye use to control a powerful master to become his slave? Shortly after Feng Qingyun and Xiao Jingchun left, Wan Chen rushed to the main hall and shouted, Master, it's not good, there's a fight, they're fighting. Who started the fight? Qin Ye frowned slightly. Master, it's the Great Elder and Sister Piaoshu. Wan Chen said anxiously. Hearing this, Qin Ye's face suddenly darkened. What did you say? Why did the two of them fight again? That it turns out that this is not the first time the two have fought. Yeah. The two of them fought so fiercely that we didn't dare to get close. Wan Chen nodded with lingering fear. These two women were fighting so hard. He secretly thought to himself that if he saw these two women again in the future, he would have to go around them. What is it for this time? Qin Ye asked with a complicated expression. The Great Elder was competing with Deacon Lu in martial arts. Sister Piaoshu came over and said that the Great Elder was too weak to be the Great Elder. She also said. Wan Chen hesitated and his face turned red. What else did you say? Qin Ye asked. He also said that the Great Elder has no breasts and no charm as a woman. Please tell her not to have wild thoughts about you, master. Wan Chen finished speaking in one breath and waited for Qin Ye to get angry. Qin Ye's expression was full of helplessness. The two Yagyu sisters had opposite personalities. The elder sister was gentle and generous, and knew everything about Qin Ye's life, while the younger sister was a lawless master, tempting Qin Ye in every possible way, and often looking for him. Other people's troubles, especially Wu Xianer, it's not like Qin Ye didn't know Wu Xianer's feelings for him, and this woman was so cruel that she even ridiculed Wu Xianer's figure, which made her furious. Let's go, I want to see how long they continue to make trouble. Qin Ye took Wan Chen to the martial arts training ground and saw Lu Shengpiaoxu fighting Wu Xianer. Wu Xianer and Lu Shengpiaoshu are both women, but their strength is very different. At this moment, Wu Xianer's attacks continue to hit Lu Shengpiaoxu. However, Lu Shengpiaoshu kept dodging, and Wu Xianer's attacks could not hurt Lu Shengpiaoxu at all. Wu Xianer could take the initiative to attack at the beginning, but as time went by, it gradually became too much. Lu Shengpiaoxu kept wandering around, pinching Wu Xianer's face when he had the chance, or maybe touching Wu Xianer's face. Wu Xianer was so angry that she scratched her chest. Seeing Wu Xianer being teased by Lu Shengpiaoxu the whole time, Qin Ye's face became even more ugly. Stop! Qin Ye shouted loudly. Senior brother head, as if feeling aggrieved in every possible way, Wu Xianer threw herself on Qin Ye and started sobbing. Qin Ye gently patted Wu Xianer's back and comforted her. It's okay, don't cry anymore. Seeing this scene, everyone showed strange expressions. The relationship between the Great Elder and the sect master seemed a bit, but they dare not say or ask. After Wu Xianer sobbed a few times, she raised her head from Qin Ye's arms, her eyes red and pitiful. It doesn't matter if your cultivation level is not as good as this woman's. This woman is so disgusting. She even said that hers is small, but yours is big. Qin Ye comforted Wu Xian'er and threatened Lu Shengpiaxu, if you continue to be restless, I will lock you up and not let you out for 10 years. Lu Shengpiaxu rolled her eyes and defended softly, we were just joking. Qin Ye shook his head, Lu Shengpiaxu didn't seem to be a peaceful master. Yagyu Yukiji heard the commotion here and rushed over. After seeing Qin Ye, she apologized to Wu Xian'er, Miss Wu, I apologize to you on behalf of my little sister. She didn't mean any harm, she was just a little naughty. Everyone was speechless, this was quite naughty. Qin Ye also had a headache when he looked at the Lu Xing sisters, especially Lu Xingpiaoxiu. He thought to himself that if there was a chance, he would send her out, and he could not let her stay in the sect and harm his own people. Yagyukiji took Lu Xingpiaoxiu away. Wu Xian'er was relieved when she saw Lu Xingpiaoxiu leave. Looking at Lu Xingpiaoxiu's back, her eyes flashed with anger. This woman was really too much. She said such ugly words, but she wanted me to give up my senior brother. Humph. Do I, Wu Xian'er, have such low emotional intelligence? How can I let you succeed? Qin Ye glanced at Wu Xian'er and said, the skills you learn in the skills building are very good. Practice well. I will make your practice speed faster in the future. Although Wu Xian'er has realized the fairy level skills, her aptitude is not high, and her physique is only ordinary. That is, she broke through faster in the skills building at the beginning, but now her practice speed has slowed down, therefore, she frequently looks for other people to learn from, hoping to find an opportunity for a breakthrough. After all, practice still depends on aptitude and physique. If you don't have these two, even if you get a heaven-defying skills, it will not be so smooth to practice. If everyone can become a dragon by practicing the immortal level skills, then if we recruit thousands of people and spread the skills, wouldn't we be able to wholesale a large number of masters very quickly? And why some protagonists are mortals, but finally become immortals? That's because they have had many adventures along the way, and have eaten a lot of natural treasures that improve their qualifications and physiques, and have long since left their mortal bodies. If Wu Xian'er wants to achieve great success, she must leave her mortal body. In fact, he is in a similar situation to Wu Xian'er, and his cultivation speed is also very slow, but he has the system plug-in, so he just lies down. Chapter 58, Cursing Someone and Wanting to Leave Alive. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Soon after Wu Xian'er was settled, someone else came to visit. They were envoys sent by the second prince of the royal capital. Qin Ye knew what they were here for without even seeing them, and directly asked Yuan Ming to send them away. The envoy sent by the second prince was of high status. He was the second prince's cousin, named Qinggu. He got a clerk position in the second prince's mansion by virtue of his status as the second prince. He usually followed the second prince to give advice. This time, the second prince sent his cousin to show his importance to Qingfeng Sect, who knew that Qin Ye was in a bad mood and directly refused to see him. What was Qinggu's status? He was the second prince's cousin, and he was also a person of status in the royal capital. He came all the way to this godforsaken place, but he couldn't even get through the gate. Naturally, he couldn't swallow this bad breath. He immediately shouted at the door, Bah! What is your Qingfeng Sect? If the second prince didn't think highly of you, I wouldn't come to your broken place. You Qingfeng Sect killed Yangling Ho and offended the eldest prince. Now only the second prince can save you. Since you are so ignorant, you just wait to die. And Qin Ye, you are so ignorant of the times. What can a master do? If you offend our second prince, a master will not live for a few days. Qinggu's shouting attracted the attention of many outer disciples, including Xiao Yu Niang, who had just finished training and came out for a walk. When she saw Qinggu, her eyes narrowed. It turned out to be the second brother's man. The second brother was so stupid that he sent him here. He is really incapable of success and more than enough to cause trouble. She turned around and left without stopping. No need to ask, she also knew that Qinggu was sent to win over the Qingfeng Sect, but the second brother, who always had a good mind, might be disappointed. How could the Qingfeng Sect be so easy to win over? Moreover, they sent such a retard who dared to curse at the gate of the Qingfeng Sect. Whether he could go back alive was another matter. Did they really think that you were the second prince's man and dared not kill you? Chenggu cursed for a while, and when no one paid attention to him, he left with his guards angrily. On the way, Chenggu cursed angrily, this Qingfeng Sect is ignorant of the times. This young master will report to the second prince and let the second prince wipe out the Qingfeng Sect. Humph. Do a bunch of bumpkins really think that the master can do whatever he wants? Today you humiliated me and the second prince so much. Even if you kneel in front of us in the future, the second prince may not look down on you. Hee, what a big tone. Just when Chenggu was angry and cursing, a laugh suddenly came over. Chenggu suddenly raised his head and looked forward, only to see a sexy woman in red standing on a tree 10 meters away. Chenggu was slightly surprised to see that the woman was beautiful and charming, and he couldn't help thinking that if he offered this woman to the second prince would pay more attention to him. Chenggu looked at the beautiful woman in front of him with a smile and asked, "Who is the girl? Why are you blocking the road?" "I am the one from the Qingfeng Sect you just scolded." The woman laughed softly, her branches trembling with laughter, and her eyes were almost narrowed into slits. "Then why is the girl blocking the road?" Chenggu asked solemnly, and at the same time signaled the guards around him to protect him. He was not a fool who knew nothing. If someone suddenly blocked the road, it must not be because they liked him. "Kill you." The woman laughed softly. "Remember, my name is Lu Xingpiao Su, don't go to the underworld, you don't know who died in your hands." "You." Chenggu's face suddenly became gloomy. "Humph." Chenggu snorted coldly and said, "Kill me? You are so brave. Don't you know that I am not only the second prince's man, but also his cousin? If you kill me, the second prince will definitely not let you go. I haven't killed a prince yet. It should be fun to kill a prince for fun." Lu Xingpiao Su tilted her head, as if thinking about whether killing a prince is fun or not. Chenggu was furious, bold. "Catch him for me." A guard beside him roared and rushed directly towards Lu Xingpiao Su. Lu Xingpiao Su twisted her body and fell from the tree. There was a dagger in her hand. She threw the dagger in her hand out, and the dagger passed through the guard's throat like an arrow. The guard screamed, covered his neck and fell to the ground, twitching for a while, and finally died. The dagger turned a circle and returned to Lu Xingpiao Su's hand. Lu Xingpiao Su played with the dagger in his hand and smiled. "After such a long time, I finally drank some blood." "You?" Chenggu stared at Lu Xingpiao Su angrily. "You dare to kill my people, you are simply looking for death. Come, catch this bitch." As soon as the voice fell, 4 guards wearing iron armor and holding long swords jumped out on his left and right sides. They formed a formation and rushed towards Lu Xingpiao Su. This formation is very common. It is a common joint attack formation in the army. If it is well coordinated, it can increase the lethality by several times. It is obvious that these 4 people in iron armor are from the army, and they are all in the innate realm. They are very strong. With their strength, plus the formation, I am afraid that they should have no problem dealing with the innate 7th or 8th level warriors. It's just that they are unlucky and ran into Lu Xingpiao Su. I saw Lu Xingpiao Su looked at them with contempt, and his figure flashed out like lightning. I only heard a few puffs, and the 4 iron-armored soldiers fell in a pool of blood without any life. Seeing this scene, Chenggu was so frightened that his soul flew away, and he hurriedly retreated. He was not even in the Xiantian realm, and was no match for Lu Xingpiaoshu. "Hee, can you escape?" Lu Xingpiaoshu's voice resounded through the sky, like a thunderbolt from the blue sky, shocking Chenggu's ears. "Ah, don't kill me, I am willing to surrender to Qingfeng Sect, and I am willing to be Qingfeng Sect's dog. Please spare my life, young lady, as long as you can forgive me, I will do whatever you want me to do." Chenggu kowtowed shamelessly and begged for mercy, looking at Lu Xingpiaoshu pitifully. "Humph. It's too late. You scolded the young master, and you still want to walk out of Qingfeng Mountain alive. I'm not as generous as the young master." Lu Xingpiaoshu's voice suddenly became cold. "Stay." A knife slashed across. Chenggu covered his neck with both hands, and fell down with disbelief in his eyes. he was afraid that he would never understand until his death that as the cousin of the second prince, someone actually dared to kill him. After killing the people, Lu Xingpiao Su looked to the left, raised a curve at the corner of his mouth, tapped his toes lightly, and left in the air. After she left, Yuan Ming came out. As a person who always wanted to please the master and never missed any opportunity, Yuan Ming would naturally not miss this opportunity today. He followed him just to teach Qinggu a lesson. However, what he didn't expect was that Lu Xingpiao Su actually took action before him, and the action was so cruel that he killed everyone. Lu Xingpiao Su finally looked at the place where he was hiding, and clearly found himself. Of course, this was not the shocking part. It can be imagined that this woman's strength is too terrifying to be able to kill 4 innate guards so easily, and these 4 innate guards are at least innate middle-level strength. Especially at the end, she left in the air. Unlike the body movement, only the master can do this. This woman is also a master. He couldn't help but think of this woman's sister Lu Xingxueji. The younger sister is a master, so the older sister should be a master. He couldn't help but take a breath, as if he had discovered something extraordinary. The 2 maids beside the master were actually masters. He didn't dare to imagine it anymore. He glanced at Qinggu's body and couldn't help but shake his head and sigh. He was used to relying on the second prince to bully others, but he didn't know that he would lose his life because of the second prince in the end. I'm afraid this is the cause and effect. Looking at the 6 bodies on the ground, he had already thought about how to deal with them. Chapter 59 The Royal Family Takes Action. You are listening at novelfull.audio. The envoys sent by the second prince were all killed by Lu Shengpiaoxu, and Yuan Ming naturally wanted to report it to Qin Ye. Qin Ye was already very disgusted with the so-called eldest prince and second prince, so their envoys killed them immediately. He only gave Lu Shengpiaoxu a verbal warning to stop her from making her own decisions. The days just calmed down. Qin Ye went fishing when he had nothing to do, or played chess with old man Wu. He didn't need to worry about the sect's affairs at all, and everything was on track. The eldest prince already knew Qin Ye's attitude from Feng Qinyan, so he gave up trying to win over the Qingfeng Sect. The second prince waited for several days but received no news about Qinggu, so he sent someone to investigate, but found out that Qinggu and his party never came out once they entered the Qingfeng Sect. The result was obvious. They had an accident, which made the second prince angry. The Qingfeng Sect was so ignorant of current affairs that they dared to kill their own envoys, so they went to the palace to encourage King Qin to deal with the Qingfeng Sect. Father, the Qingfeng Sect has just risen and killed me, Marquis Yangling. The wolf's ambition has been revealed. If we can't suppress it, how will the people of the world think of us? If the sects of the world follow suit one by one, how can the great Qin dynasty govern the world? That the second prince spoke to King Qin respectfully. After hearing the second prince's advice, King Qin fell into silence. After a long while, he finally said, "What Qingfeng Sect did is indeed a bit excessive. After all, Marquis Yangling is the Marquis of my Qin dynasty. He has made outstanding achievements, so he is dismissed like this. We, the royal family, can't do anything to kill him." King Qin knew exactly why the second prince spoke now. What the 2 princes did could not be hidden from his eyes. Marquis Yangling was dead, and it would be a good choice to win over the Qingfeng Sect, so he wanted to see which of the 2 princes had this ability, but the information he got was that the 2 princes failed to win over each other. Moreover, the ashes of the messenger sent by the second prince were raised. This is not a slap in the face of the second prince, but a direct disregard of the Qin dynasty. Such a force cannot allow it to grow anymore. The Qingyun sect has always been uncontrollable. If another force like the Qingyun sect appears again, can Qingzhou still be the Qingzhou of Great Qin? Since it can't be used by our Great Qin, then let's completely eliminate it. Father, in fact, we don't need to take action. We can just let Qingyun sect join forces with other sects to take action. I believe they are not willing to see the rise of Qingfeng Sect. The second prince added again. It's just that this time he obviously had selfish motives. The important news that Feng Qingyun supports the eldest prince cannot be hidden from him. Since Feng Qingyun supports the eldest prince, then the Qingyun sect must also support the eldest prince, so the Qingyun sect is his enemy. Qin Sect and Qingfeng Sect are both his enemies, so let these two enemies fight to the death, no matter what the outcome is. He is the one who gets the benefit. Of course, the best outcome is for both sides to suffer losses, and of course, being destroyed together is what he would like to see. He also believed that his father would definitely agree to his suggestion. After all, the Qin Sect was the top among many forces in Qingzhou and had always been feared by the Qin royal family. Now that he had this opportunity, he would not let it go, as he expected. King Qin nodded after listening to his suggestion. Your suggestion is very good. Let Qin Sect handle this matter. If you want to take Qingfeng Sect's matter, you must tell the sects all over the world, even if there is no lawlessness when a grandmaster is in charge. The Qin's laws are the laws of the world, and even sects must abide by our Qin's laws. Thank you, father. The second prince was overjoyed. This move not only eliminated the Qingfeng Sect, but also severely damaged the Qin Sect, killing two birds with one stone. Shortly after the second prince left the palace, a eunuch with the king's order led dozens of palace guards to Qingzhou. Every move of the great Qin royal family was monitored by the world's forces, so they quickly went to find out what was going on. These forces were indeed very knowledgeable, and the second prince's conversation with the king of Qin was spread. Some people who didn't know about Qingfeng Sect were shocked when they inquired about it. In such a remote place like Qingzhou, a powerful master actually appeared. There are only 10 strong masters in the great Qin dynasty on the surface, but those are all on the surface. I don't know how many masters are hidden secretly. After all, some people will not show off after they have broken through the masters. There are also some powerful sections. On the surface he appears to be a master, but secretly he knows how many there are. Who doesn't have a little trump card yet? Nothing happened along the way. King Qin's envoy arrived at the Qin Sect very quickly and successfully met the current head of the Qin Sect, Mu Tong. The envoy held the king's order and said, Master Mu, the king asked us to bring the king's order. What the king means is that the Qingfeng Sect does not respect the royal family and kills its heroes. This is an unpardonable crime. It is necessary to kill one to serve as a warning to others. Since the Qingfeng Sect is in Qingzhou, the king wants the Qin Sect to clean up the filth and put things in order. This is a good opportunity for the Qin Sect to make meritorious deeds. Sect leader Mu must seize it. Mu Tong wanted to say something, but he couldn't control it. He didn't want to conflict with the Qingfeng Sect at all now, and he had just issued an order to prevent his disciples from conflicting with the Qingfeng Sect. Now the royal family asked him to take action. Isn't this a slap in his face? Does his majestic Qin Sect leader have no face? However, the ancestor has not yet broken through to the Grand Master level, and he is not qualified to challenge the royal family at all. Mu Tong was very bitter. The royal family had gone too far. He did not take action, but wanted Qin Sect to take action. There must be an idea to reduce the strength of Qin Sect. Sect Master Mu, will you accept the king's order or not? That the envoy stared at Mu Tong closely. He had to remember every move of Mu Tong and report it to the king. I'm sorry, I can't accept this order. Mu Tong still refused to accept the order. From his point of view, Qin Sect could not fight to the death with Qingfeng Sect at this time. The envoy didn't expect Mu Tong to dare to refuse the order of King Qin. Did he become arrogant just because he was a master and didn't take the king seriously? The envoy said sarcastically, Master Mu is a master, and his status is really different. Now he dares to refuse the king's order. However, the king had guessed that Master Mu would refuse the order, so he asked us to bring a message to Master Mu. What? Mu Tong asked. Since the great Qin royal family dared to let the Qin Sect's ancestor go one step further, there must be a strong person to suppress him. Sect Master Mu, don't forget that the Qin Sect is only a 7th grade sect, which is far inferior to the other 7 states. Since the great Qin royal family has the ability to become the master of these 8 states, how can there not be some means of checks and balances? Although the Grand Master is strong, he is not invincible. Sect Master Mu, don't you think so? The envoy threatened, the king of Qin's meaning couldn't be clearer. Even if the ancestor of the Qingfeng Sect breaks through to the Grandmaster, the royal family has the means to suppress him. What to suppress? It is obvious that the king of Qin is hinting that the great Qin royal family has a Grandmaster sitting in charge. The great Qin royal family actually has a Grandmaster sitting in charge, and it is definitely not an ordinary Grandmaster. This really shocked Mutong. No wonder they dared to make a deal with the Qingfeng Sect. Even if the ancestor breaks through to the Grandmaster, if he dares to plot something wrong, the great Qin royal family can still suppress it. Grandmasters are not masters. On the surface, there are only 10 masters, but this is just a lie. Although it is difficult to break through to the master level, it is definitely easier than breaking through to the Grandmaster level. After so many years, I don't know how many masters there are. Take Qingzhou for example, there are no less than 8 masters, both openly and secretly. If you add the Qingfeng Sect, there are already 10. This is still the barren Qingzhou, and there may be more in the other 7 states. Chapter 60 The King of Qin's Plan. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Threat, naked threat. Since the great Qin royal family can suppress the Grand Master, then they can easily deal with him. If he does not obey the order, the king of Qin will take off his head before dealing with Qingfeng Sect. The king of Qin has Mutong in his hands. Unless Mutong does not want his life, he can only obey the king of Qin, but he knows deeply that if he agrees this time, then Qingfeng Sect will be the running dog of the great Qin royal family in the future. Qingfeng Sect must not become the running dog of the great Qin royal family. This is Mutong's deepest thought. The great Qin royal family has supported the free development of various sects on the surface in recent years, but secretly it has been luring and threatening them to achieve its own goals. Its ambition is obvious, compared with the development of Qingfeng Sect. What is his life? So Mutong flatly refused. Messenger, please tell the king of Qin that my Qingfeng Sect cannot be summoned. Okay. Master Mu, you must think clearly. The messenger asked with a gloomy face. Of course. Mutong nodded. Since he had said it, he would not regret it. Then Sect Master Mu should be prepared to wait for the king's wrath. The messenger left a harsh word and was about to leave with his men. At this moment, a hurried voice came, Messenger, please wait. Feng Qingyun walked in quickly, and it was him who spoke. The messenger obviously knew Feng Qingyun, and smiled and bowed, saying, it turned out to be Master Feng. Feng Qingyun was the master of the royal disciples, and his status was naturally extraordinary. The messenger did not dare to disrespect him. Eunuch, the king's order has been accepted by my Qingfeng Sect. Feng Qingyun said seriously. Master, you. Mutong stared at Feng Qingyun in shock, not knowing why Feng Qingyun wanted to accept this king's order, which would push Qingfeng Sect into the fire pit. Mutong, since the king's order has been issued, we will accept it. After that, Feng Qingyun took the king's order from the messenger's hand. Since Master Feng has accepted the king's order, I will go back and report now. After that, the messenger left with his guards. Seeing the envoy leave, Mutong immediately asked, Master, you know that the king's order cannot be accepted, why do you still accept it? The king's order has been issued. If we don't accept it, the king of Qin will definitely destroy our Qingfeng Sect with his character. Feng Qingyun sighed and said, I have been in the royal family of the Qin dynasty for so many years, and I have learned a lot of secrets of the royal family. The strength of the Qin dynasty is not as simple as it seems. I have heard your conversation just now. There must be a great master in the Qin dynasty. And I guess there may be more than one. If you refuse to accept the king's order today, Qingfeng Sect will be slaughtered. But if you accept the king's order, you will have to fight to the death with Qingfeng Sect. The strength of Qingfeng Sect may not be as simple as it seems. Mutong said worriedly. My disciple, you are right. Qingfeng Sect does have hidden means. This time, when I went to Qingfeng Sect, I met another master, and he should be a high-level master. I suspect that Qingfeng Sect may be supported by forces from other countries. Whether for the future development of Qin Sect or for the stability of Qingzhou, Qingfeng Sect must be eliminated. Thinking of the repeated insults from Qingfeng Sect, Feng Qinyan gritted his teeth. However, he did not let his anger get to his head after all. Eliminating Qingfeng Sect was the general trend. Mu Tong was still a little worried and said, "Master, this matter still needs to be considered in the long run. If we obey the royal family's orders now, Qin Sect will only be dependent on the royal family in the future. I understand your concerns, but our current situation does not allow us to refuse at all, otherwise we will fall into an irretrievable situation. Moreover, the ancestor is at the critical moment of breakthrough. If we refuse now, the royal family will never give the ancestor a chance to break through." Back then, Qin Sect and the royal family had an agreement. The first one was to ensure the stability of Qingzhou. The rise of Qingfeng Sect is an anomaly. It is not us who want to destroy them, but they provoked the royal family first. Feng Qinyan said slowly, seeing that Mu Tong was silent. Feng Qinyan continued, and the ancestor also agreed. Since the ancestor agreed, then I will execute it. Mu Tong said. Okay. Feng Qinyan smiled with relief. Qin Palace, Qin Wang closed his eyes and rested on his throne. Suddenly, a black shadow suddenly appeared. Did Qin Sect accept Wang Ling? King Qin opened his eyes, glanced at the black shadow, and asked. Mu Tong was unwilling to accept it, and finally Feng Qinyan accepted it. The black shadow said. The king of Qin chuckled and said, "This old guy is sensible. If the northern barbarians hadn't been getting more and more violent, I wouldn't have tolerated the old guy from the Qin Sect breaking through to the Grandmaster level." The king of Qin asked again, "What are the two princes doing recently?" That the shadow replied, "The eldest prince has been very close to the ministers in the court recently, and the second prince has been locking himself in the study to read." Reading, that the king of Qin sneered, "If he can read books into his brain, then the sun will really rise from the west. But it's just a pretense. I don't know him yet. I just tricked the eldest prince, so I naturally have to avoid him at this time. My two sons are not very worry-free." The king of Qin asked again, "By the way, why haven't you found Xiao Lu yet?" "Your Majesty, according to the recent news, the princess should have gone to Qingzhou. My people are rushing to Qingzhou. I believe she will be found soon. This Xiao Lu is just worry-free. She actually sneaked out of the palace. Let your people find her and bring her back." The king of Qin said. "The holy son of Qin Palace will come to the royal capital next month. Before then, Xiao Lu must find him, otherwise he will come to see him." "Yes, your Majesty." Black Shadow responded respectfully. King Qin looked out of the palace, gradually pondered, and murmured to himself, "Qin Palace, if we can marry the holy son, the Qin dynasty will have the confidence to unify the northern territory. It is in vain that I love her so much, but she is so willful. Don't worry, your Majesty, my subordinates will definitely bring her royal highness back personally." Black Shadow assured. King Qin waved his hand, and the shadow bowed respectfully and left. After the black shadow left, King Qin went to the forbidden area of the harem. Even though he was the king of Qin, he was cautious because the ancestors lived in this forbidden area. As soon as King Qin came in, several divine thoughts swept over his body. King Qin did not dare to take a breath. After the divine thoughts disappeared, he spoke respectfully, "Dear ancestors, there is a Qingfeng Sect in Qingzhou. It is suspected that at least there are two powerful masters. Their sect master Qin Ye killed Yanglingao some time ago. Gu suspected that the Qingfeng Sect was secretly supported by forces from other countries. Gu has ordered the Qin Sect in Qingzhou to eliminate the Qingfeng Sect to avoid future troubles." After he finished speaking, there was silence for a while before a voice came from the forbidden area. "You have done a good job. No matter which force secretly supports the Qingfeng Sect and is against my royal family, then we must completely eliminate him. The Qin Sect has been rooted in Qingzhou for many years. It is time to knock it down, but it cannot be allowed to damage its muscles and bones. The barbarians in the north are quite strong, and we still need the Qin Sect to guard Qinzhou. We, the Great Qin, will then be free to completely destroy the northern barbarians. At that time, the Qin Sect will have no role. If you are smart, you can still pass on the Taoist tradition by relying on my Great Qin. If you don't obey my rule, then let the Qin Sect disappear into thin air.